Good day, gentlemen. Here we are ready to go with the 1956 D roll. Got a few more minutes. I'm going to let everybody show up. It's a wonderful rainy Wednesday here in North Carolina. Hope everybody's getting the weather they're wishing for. We needed the rain. Oh, I've got to kill my Facebook page. Can't do that. And kill my email so I don't get any contacts on that. I don't need this either. There we go. Now, let me... 56D. And then this one is a Fed Reserve Raptor roll. It's a Chicago Fed roll. Hello, Bob's Garage from Louisville, Kentucky. All right, now that I've got my title right, Jeff Dunn, Steve Elliott, Bill Betts. We got a bunch of people showing up. Still got a couple of minutes before I'm going to get started. I don't want anybody to have an issue with my starting too early. I've got 50 name chips out here, and I've got 50 spots. Let's make sure I got 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, and two more is 50. 50 spots. Who knows what will come of this roll of coins? I know it's nice uncirculated roll. It's got a toner on one end here. It's a little loose, and it's got a really nice toner on the other end. 1956D. Who knows what we could find? I haven't even scoped the end of these to see if there's anything on the ends. But I won't tell you. Not until we reveal the roll. Okay. Hello, Cajun Coin Hunter. You didn't get in on this roll, did you? I don't remember writing your name down. This one was a tough roll to get into. It was sold out in just a few minutes. Let me go ahead and get started here. We got 50 names on 50 chips. I've already counted them out live. So make sure my bag is empty, which it was not. All right, my bag is empty. I'll put my 50 names in there. Shuck them up. Now it's time to open a roll. Let's find out what goodies come out of this roll. Hello, Mr. Harmon. Got that end opened up. Sometimes these things can be a little bit nuts to get open. I guess most of the time they expected you just slap this up over the corner of a counter and bust it in the middle. Because they're not really nice to get opened up by unrolling the ends. There we go. At least we know this was tightly machinely wrapped. Machinely wrapped. Okay, I have to go this way with it. And for those who are just joining us, the reason I am not wearing gloves is because I washed my hands completely dry with antibacterial soap prior to getting started. I prefer to be able to touch and feel the coins as to trying to feel them through a glove and dropping them and damaging or anything to that effect. So, first coin in the roll goes to Dana. This one's the one that's got nice colorful toning on it. It's a pretty toned end roll coin. A bunch of color on it. It's a nice pretty coin. On 1956D, there's a number of things to look for. There's 2 OMMs. There's a bunch of repunchment marks. There's some doubled eyelids. I'm not familiar with anything right offhand on the reverse of 1956D, but that doesn't stop me from looking. Okay, Dana, coin number 1 gets a nice toner. Beautiful grade on the reverse. It's a nice sign of things to come. All right, let's check, see who gets coin number 2. Bulldog. Bulldog will get coin number 2. Let's see what it is. I'm hoping for a lot of huge goodies come out of this. About time we had a massive roll. Not seeing anything in there. Not yet. Alright. It is a nice coin for condition. Is that a doubled eyelid going on in there? Could be a doubled eyelid. Let's check. Well, let me zoom in on that and see. I see a line, but it looks like a die scratch. It matches other die scratches in the area. So that's not an eyelid. It's cute though. Just not what we're looking for. What about RPM number 1? RPM number 1 is kind of nice. This is a nice coin. I'm glad I got this roll. This roll looks nice. Pretty condition. And as with all the other rolls, I will go through every coin, obverse and reverse, and I will attribute anything that happens to be on these that I didn't catch or that I did catch during the roll reveal itself. This is coin number 3. I need to figure out who this one's going to go to. Mr. Adams. Well, let's see what we get. Seeing interesting markers for something, but not for a mint mark variety or a double die. It does have to be understood by everyone who buys into these rolls. I don't know what's in these rolls before I open them. The other thing is, I don't know what we're going to get out of them when we do open them. I'm always hoping for the best. I'm hoping all 50 coins are really, really nice die varieties, but we know that's not realistic. We know that doesn't happen often at all. And we know that even finding the good ones is kind of scarce. It's not like you're going to plop a roll down and open it up and it's going to be full of thousands of dollars worth of die varieties, although we can hope that. Hello, Mr. Michnick. CM Silver gets the next one. Let's see what we got here. Oof, a spot. There's a spot on this spot in the roll. Let's see here. Not seeing anything else right now. Doesn't look like there's anything on that obverse. Can definitely hope, buddy. Because I frankly hope for the success of my show that we end up finding something massive someday. And we find something massive someday, that'll be a nice video. It'll be a great watch. Because that's that thrill of the hunt finally coming out. All right, coin number 5. We'll go to Mr. Padat. Let's see what comes out of coin number 5. I'm not seeing anything there yet. I'm always looking between the 1 and the 9 of the date. There's one die that has an S there. There's another one that has a D inside the tail of the 9 of the date. There are at least a couple of double dies known where there's doubling underneath the B of Liberty. There's a few doubled eyelids known. This is one of those years that you'll run into something. Out of every 3 or 4 rolls, you'll run into something pretty nice. Just not sure we're going to be in the cards this time. We're only 5 coins in. Let's see who gets coin number 6. Levels of Madness will get coin number 6. Let's see what they've got. Oh, come on, give me something nice. I am seeing nothing on this. There are a few repunch mint marks that have really thin D's that are way up close to the date. And one of them is at RPM number 8, which would have a separated D underneath the D. But this one's just not that. I always get really hopeful, though, when I get into a 56D roll. I've found very few of those in uncirculated. But they're really, really nice when you do find them. And on the reverse, I'm just looking for all the typical things that you would see on a double die reverse generally in wheat cents. I'm looking for doubling on the inside of the EN of cent. I'm also looking for doubling on the tops of the United States. I'm looking for extra thickness or doubling toward the rim on the outside edge of pluribus. You can see that U right there. That's die deterioration doubling. It actually shows on a lot of the letters going around the edge. You can see it on the top of the I and the B there. Just depends on how I have it pointed toward the light. You can see it on the top of the R now. That is just a braided die doubling. That's nothing more than die wear. Fancy term for die wear. Hey, we got nothing on this one. Now we're 6 coins in. We've got 6 nice uncirculated 1956 D Lincoln cents. But nothing else so far. Next coin will go to Bulldog. What does Bulldog get? Well, looks like another normal 1956D right now. Yeah. That's what it is by way of the mint mark and the date. In the eye. This one has a die crack up above the eye. Die scratch on the D there. Nice little nested die crack with a little chip in the hair. This one's going toward that terminology some people use called a cracked skull. But I've got nothing for die variety on that side. Ooh, a nifty little break going on over here. That part of the metal is actually lifted. If I can get the light on it just right, you can see. See the hump right there? That's kind of cool. Nice big die scratch running through the N of United. But there's no hub doubling. No double die on this side do I see. Just a nifty little die break there. Looks like all these coins are turning out to be Gem 65 quality. They're nice. It's a nice roll. Just doesn't have to be nice. Just doesn't happen to be nice in the direction that I like for it to be. Now, next one goes to levels. Stephen, the spiked head are usually consider the coins where there's a die crack going from the head all the way up through Wii to the rim up at the top. Cracked skulls are the ones that I was showing you there, where it's got die cracks inside the hair. Okay, there's a nice heavy die scratch going through the 9 of the date on that one. We'll remember that one. We'll see if there's anything else on this. That way we'll know it next time we come back to it. Some nice heavy die scratches up above the Y of Liberty. The back of the hair and the back of the neck. But we'll remember this die by the fact that it has that heavy die scratch that basically runs all the way through the date. There's 1, 9, and 5. Almost into the 6 there too. So this is a nothing obverse. Let's see what's on the reverse. A lot of die scratches. Die scratches everywhere. Let's see. That's machine doubling on the UM there. It's machine doubling because it's not only flat, but it also takes up part of the profile of the U. You see, if you just trace the single image, the U gets way too thin. You have to use that secondary image to make the U the right shape. That's machine doubling. Every single time. I had a little spot on the reverse of this one. Looks like a calcified spot. Alright. Well, I can see the spot on the reverse on this one now. There's a nice obverse. Oh, nothing on that one. Looks like we could be running ourselves dry on this roll. I hate that idea. Don't like that idea at all. Next one goes to levels. We'll see if we can do a little bit better this time. Oh, no. Okay, so this one has a heavy little die dot on the 5 running into a scratch that goes all the way to the rim through the 6, and a real heavy scratch west of the 1 toward the coat. So we'll remember that one too. Check the rest of the coin for any anomalies. Nothing on the obverse. What do we have on the reverse? Yeah, I'm showing nothing on the reverse. I don't feel too bad about these because even though we're not finding die varieties, we are finding nice gem coins, and a nice gem coin in a 56D is pretty much worth the $4 that we're paying for each of these. Next one goes to levels. Well, levels. Is he even here right now? I don't think he's here right now. It's kind of a bummer. Well, I guess he'll watch it later. What do we got here? Well, it looks like we got a normal coin. Let's get a marker off of this. Figure out how we're going to recognize this die next time. So far, I'm not seeing anything useful. So that's a big die scratch up to the R of truss there. It's a pair of die scratches. Parallel die scratches. I like those. I think we'll use that. And we got a little crack in the hair too. Let's flip this little puppy over and see what happens on the other side. We got nothing. Another normal coin. Come on. We're 10 coins in. Let's find us a goodie. I want a real goodie. Coin number 11 will belong to... Doing fine, Arizona coins. Mr. Harmon. Mr. Harmon is in the house. Let's find out what Mr. Harmon got. Okay. I'm not seeing anything so far. We got some north and south die scratches running through the first half of the date there. Some other little die scratches running here and there. Not really seeing a whole lot to use as a definitive marker. There we go. There's a die scratch out in front of the nose. Runs from the 1 all the way up to the nose. That'll work for me. Do we actually have something on this? I gotta run this one in. Let's see what we got here. I'm thinking we might have a split on the upper serif, but I don't know for sure. Wow, that's ever so minor if it is there. Yeah, no, I'm just not seeing anything worth listing there. Sorry for the false alarm. Thought we had something there for a second. Oh, well, there's a marker right there. Big long die scratch running through the bottom of the mint mark over to the 6th of the date. We'll use that to let us know that there's nothing on the obverse of that coin. Let's see about the reverse. Well, looks like we have a clash that's been polished out. Pretty hefty amount of clashing going on this one. But nothing else that I can see right now. So, Mr. Harmon, a pretty coin. Get that one stuck in the holder. Let's see who gets coin number 12. Coin number 12 belongs to Mr. Adams. That's another one of the exact same die I just pulled. See the die scratch? Got that die scratch running through the lower D. Let's see if it's a doubled I. I didn't really check that closely on the last coin. No doubled I. Not seeing anything there. Let's see about the other side. Same thing as last time. A lot of die scratches running in every direction. Okay. Chicken. What about chicken? You got chicken? It does remind me I'm hungry. I haven't eaten. Coin number 13. Lucky coin 13 belongs to CM Silver. Oh. I'm going to see something come out of coin number 13 here. I'm not seeing it so far. Wow. So far we're kind of running a dud roll here. A die crack in the hair. There's a heavier die scratch running from the T of Liberty up to the back of the head. I guess we could use that. Chicken scratch. Are we having chicken for dinner? Is that what's going on? Or is somebody a chicken because they won't do something? What kind of chicken are we talking about? We can talk about chicken. Well, let's pick Mr. Adams for the next coin. Coin number 14 belongs to Mr. Adams. Seeing a spot on this coin, I'm not really sure what it is. It looks like a patch where it was struck through grease. Kind of interesting. No added value. Do I see a... I do see a split serif right there. Dun, 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 dun. Bam, we do have a minor repunchment mark. You can see splits on both serifs, upper and lower. First RPM of the roll. Yay! Now we have to find a marker so that we know what we're dealing with. I'm not sure this is going to be something I'd be able to list. I've got to be able to see it pretty clearly through my camera, so cross your fingers. Somebody crossed their fingers and put it right on the coin. A fingerprint on this one. Okay, we've got a small little die scratch running parallel right in front of the bridge of the nose. Is this, let's see. Not sure I've seen anything from this die yet. Okay, there's a big die gouge underneath the shoulder right there at the rim. So I'll use that. Let's see what's on the reverse, if anything. Reverses are not well known in 1956 D for having double dies. So I'm checking them very quickly to see what we do or don't have. I tell you what, this coin looks a lot nicer in hand than it does under that scope. That scope really pushes out every single bit of problem there is. It magnifies it 1,000 times. Who gets the next one? Bulldog. Bulldog will have coin number 15. Coin number 15 belongs to Bulldog. This one looks like it could have a minor split lower serif, but it's not really enough. This is that one that's got the die scratch running through the lower part of the date. We've seen this die before. So we know there's nothing else on the obverse. Well, because we've seen one of them already. Let's take a look at the reverse and see if there's some chance that they could have changed dies. They did not, because this one's got that die scratching going everywhere. Just like the last example of the die scratch through the date coin that I saw. I do a whole lot of, not really talking to myself, but naming the different dies as I go along. So I can remember when I'm going through an original roll like this, I can remember what I've seen and what I haven't seen. And it helps me out. Mr. Adams, I do believe Jeff Dunn sent me an email at one point in time. I think I have his information, but it would help if you just sent another one, just to be sure. I'm not always the best at keeping track of stuff. I'm so busy all the time. Ooh, what do we have here? I've got to look at this area a little closer just to see. I want to make sure I'm not missing something. I'm seeing some raised areas between the 1 and 9 of the date there. Let's zoom in on that and see what happens. No, it's not what I'm looking for. An interesting raised areas, but it's not an S. And this is probably hub doubling, but I don't list them because there are so many like it. I've seen a number of dies that have this raised like area inside the 9 of the date, and I'm really curious about it because it seems to follow the shape of the outside of the 9. So it looks like there could be a 9 that's been hubbed way off kilter. I don't think coins get hot when they're struck, but it would make sense that the friction could cause them to be hot because you're actually liquefying moving metal. And maybe it is where it immediately gets hot and immediately cools off. But I know that shortly after they're struck, people are grabbing them with their hands, so they're not that bad. A nice clean reverse here. I don't think I've seen a nice clean reverse out of this roll yet. Nothing double going on there. Well, pooh. I was thinking this would be a super roll. All right, Mr. Dowdle. Probably listening from his car or phone. Let's see what Mr. Dowdle ends up with. There's a few spots on this one. Not the most gorgeous looking coin. Has a few relatively heavy hits. Not a whole lot. Did I check the eye? I think I checked the eye. Yeah, I've checked the eye. Okay. That's all right. Had a request for my car keys. All right, a reverse on this one. Well, there's another example of machine doubling right there on the U on Unum. Looks like the same machine doubling we've run into before, but it's definitely machine doubling. All right. Well, we're 17 coins into the roll, and so far I found nothing. Well, one minor RPM. Mr. Adams. Kind of a scuffy looking coin, but see, here's another example. This is a different die, but this is another example of the sort of kind of odd looking whatever you get on the 9. This happens frequently, and I'm not really sure what it is or what's going on with it. But you can see it there. It is definitely different from the last one we saw, but it's still there. No snoring Sherman today. Sherman's been locked out of my office for the moment. But that's just a little interesting feature that you'll find on 1956D Lincolns. In fact, a lot of the 1950s Lincolns, you'll find that little triangle-looking thing inside the 9 of the date. I don't think it's anything of note because it happens so frequently. I think the reverse is getting a little soft. Excuse me. Nothing else going on there. Hello, Brian. Mr. Adams gets that coin. Now for coin number 19. Bulldog. I'm glad you were looking at 56s yesterday. We are not having as much luck here. This is one of those minor double split serifs. I can see the splits in the serifs, believe it or not, but I will zoom in so that you may see them as well. Let me get it focused. I wish I was a little better at focusing this thing in a hurry. You see that? You can see the little splits in the serifs. I'm not sure this is going to be one I'll be able to list because it's just almost too minor. Hello, coin searcher. Yeah, we'll just keep looking, see what else we find in here, but I think this is going to be the same die as last time. Yep, see there's your little die scratch right out in front of the bridge of the nose. There should be a small die crack in the hair right there. The beginning of a spike to the E right there. We've seen this die before. I remember seeing some sort of a die scratch over here. I can't remember where it was though. Right there. Nothing up my sleeve. Alright. Coin number 19 belongs to Mr. Bulldog. Going on to coin number 20. Coin number 20 will belong to Mr. Harmon. Wow. What we have here is a failure to produce. We got a lot of cute coins. Some of these are actually in really great shape. That looks like a struck through right there. What is that? Yeah, for sure. It's a shiny little struck through. There was a piece of gravel or something on the die when this coin was struck, so you got a little struck through right next to the one. That's actually a cavity on the coin. The lighting is coming from the bottom, so it's shining on the top, which means that that's a cavity in the coin. There's no raised metal around that cavity, so it's not damage. So that's what we've got. A little struck through at the date on this one. Let's see if we have anything on the other side. Another case of machine doubling. You see the doubling right there on the pluribus and on the unum. This one's a little stronger than the others I've seen. But still, it's machine doubling. Some machine doubling on the bottom of the left-hand wheat there. It's got pretty strong machine doubling running throughout pluribus. It's cute, but it doesn't hold any value because it's just so common. There's so much of it out there. Recommending a scope. You know what? I can't do that with a digital scope because I just haven't tried any of them out. I just don't know. The only digital scope I have is the one that I'm using here, and its retail price is nearly $600. So Bulldog gets the next one. So it's not a cheap one at all. Maybe I should write to some of the companies that make scopes and see if they'll send me something to try. This one's a double split serif. Relatively minor, but it's there nonetheless. There. Where are you? Oh, here we go. Yeah, I can see the split on the upper and the lower on this one. They're just real minor, though. Wow, so minor. Hard for me to recommend a microscope that is a digital scope. I'm not 100% happy with this one, and it's expensive. These don't come cheap. This is a Dynoscope, and I like the fact that it has 2 focal points in the zoom wheel. So right now I'm using the upper focal point, so I can get a really good focus this way. It does not have an autofocus. The focus is always manual. That's kind of what I'm thinking, Robert. I'm kind of thinking if I got a number of different scopes that I'd be able to run a study on them, but well, I tell you what, things have just been really busy. This one goes to Mr. Adams as well. Let's see what Mr. Adams got. Looks like another minor double split serif RPM there. I can tell by the roundness of the edge of the serif. It's just too round to be one single serif. That's how I can tell at this magnification. It is oh so minor though. Just not a lot going on there. Look at that scratch out in front of the chin. I'll use that. That's a marker right there. We have something on the eye. Let me scoot this coin over so I can get a hold of it a little better here. Check to see if we've got doubling on the eye. This one might still be the same as that other one I saw with the die scratch in the eye. I call it the eye pit. Oh, let's move it back over and look at it. Yeah, see, this is the one. It's a die scratch. It doesn't match perfectly with the shape of the eyelid. It doesn't follow the direction of the eyelid. It's thinner than an eyelid. It looks like a worn scratch. And if it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. Q-scope. I'd like to see how Q-scope works. Maybe I'll look for who makes them and see if I can talk to the people and see if I can get them to send me one. Q-scope. It's like Q-tip, only Q-scope. Alright, what do we have on the reverse on this one? And absolutely nothing at all. It's a pretty coin. We got no doubling on it though. Mr. Adams. Coin number 22. Coin number 23. Oh, let me flip this over. Coin number 23 will belong to Bulldog. Story remains the same. Now see, that one's got the die scratch there, right? The little tiny one parallel to the bridge of the nose, to the eyebrow right there. I'll have to go back down and look at the mint mark again. Because, yeah, it has the little split in the top. It also has the split in the lower, but it has a hit on the mint mark, which kind of removes its nice factor. I saw that marker and I knew. There we go. See, we can see the split in the serif now. The upper serif anyway. Lower serif's been damaged. It's an RPM nonetheless. It isn't what we're looking for, but it's an RPM. Yeah, I saw that little marker. Having seen that little marker, I recognized it. That's where your markers come in handy. That little die scratch right there. Right out in front of the eyebrow. And it parallels the bottom of the eyebrow. Let me turn the corner around and see. There we can see it a little bit better right there. You find that little die scratch right there, you found the right die. In this roll anyway. There we go. Now they're nice and pretty. You can see them nice and bright. Alright, so we know that this die came with a minor repunchment mark and nothing else on the obverse. Let's flip it over and check the reverse. We know that none of the reverses so far have had anything on them, so I go through them rather quickly. Ouch, there's a spot on the coin. Icky spot. I don't know why I was just reminded of the Headless Horseman. I said icky spot, which to me went to Ichabod, which went to Ichabod, which went to Ichabod Crane, and the Headless Horseman. And here we are coming up on Halloween. Levels of Madness gets the next one. That's where my silly little brain goes. We have a silly little brain living right over here. Let's see. Well, we're coming up with a flat dead roll, as it appears. What is this? Looks like a mark on the coin. Is that a mark or a crack? That could be a die crack. That's an unusual spot for a die crack. Very unusual spot. Let's see what you are. I have to zoom in on this, because it's interesting. And, well, it's my show. That's a hair. That's a fiber from the paper. Duh. So, that's what a paper fiber looks like. Jeez, Chuck. Wipe it with a Q-tip first. When I talk about wiping something off with a Q-tip, when I'm doing these roll reveals, I'm basically just very lightly brushing a Q-tip across the surface to remove whatever's on there. See, it's gone because I flipped the coin over. I'm not scrubbing on the coin. Yes, I'm using a dry Q-tip, but I don't want to use a wet Q-tip because there's no point. All I'm doing is using the hairs to grab something to move it across the surface without barely even touching the coin. Mr. Elliott gets the next one. Okay. Well. And once again, if you just joined us, I'm looking for repunchment mark. Any one of dozens of repunchment marks. I'm looking for an S between the 1 and 9 of the date. I'm looking for a D inside the tail of the 9 of the date. I'm looking for doubling, especially on the bottom of the B of Liberty. I'm looking for doubling in the motto if there happens to be any. I'm looking for a doubled eyelid as well. No known doubled ears for this year, or even this era. Now on the reverse, I'm looking in the center of the design for any doubling on the sides of any of the letters. I'm looking for any extra thickness toward the rim. And when I see none of that, I move on to the next coin. How long does it take me to go through a roll of coins? Well, we've been through half of this roll, and we're 45 minutes in. Generally, to go through an entire 50 coin roll like this, I can do it under my microscope, looking at the coins. Levels gets this coin, Levels of Madness, in under 1 minute. It takes me about 45 seconds or so to go through a roll, unless I'm finding stuff. If I'm finding stuff, then I slow down. But a roll like this, oh look, big die crack on the shoulder. I would be finished inside of a minute. Moving right along. I can go through a $25 box inside of, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And that's looking at every aspect of every coin for any kind of doubling and pulling it out. I have, for circulated wheats, I have cups that I use that I put double die obverse, reverse, and then RPMs. So that's when I get time to actually go through rolls, which isn't very common anymore, except for the rolls that I'm going through here. Levels of Madness gets the next one as well. Well, let's see what you got. Oh. Yep. Yup. just another normal coin. Just a bit outside. So I kind of reminded myself why I wasn't keeping me up with the baseball season this year. Ate pizza out last night. Caught just a part of the New York Yankees and Houston Astros game. I like to bored myself to tears trying to watch baseball on TV. Next coin for Mr. Adams. Sorry, folks. Football just has me well within its grips. I can't do baseball on TV anymore. I can go to a baseball game and watch it live. And those are actually kind of fun. And I don't drink beer. They're just kind of fun to watch the game. But watching them on TV, oh man, it's like watching grass grow. Wow, heavy die scratch. Look at that. We got die scratches everywhere on this, but we don't have any doubling. Now, I like a good baseball game in person. If I can be an audience member to watch a game, especially at a pro stadium, I think they're pretty cool because you can watch everything happen, and I just enjoy it that way. I used to go to the Trop and watch the Rays play, and usually it was so I could watch somebody play against the Rays because I wasn't really a Rays fan. Mr. Dowdle. Mr. Dowdle will belong to the next coin. And, oh, nice little die clash going on there. See part of a letter sticking out toward the 1 there. I believe that is the top of the E of 1. I could be incorrect with that. Let's see what we have. It looks like we could have something going on with the mint mark itself. It looks like it's got a lower split serif. I can see a little jagged edge on there. Get this thing focused in. Wow. My eyesight's messing with me today. Yeah, nothing going on there. Oh, we have a microscopic split lower serif. Way too small to bother with, but you can see it right on the left edge of the letter, right as the light stops. There's a little tiny split serif there. That's not going to be one we're going to mess with. Yeah, look, people, if it takes 500x to see it, I highly doubt that there's going to be much of any kind of collector market for it. So I don't list it just because it's there. I list it because it has some value to people. Because listing stuff just because it's there becomes an exercise in tedium. Way too many 1960 DRPMs listed because there's too many minor ones listed. So I've kind of keyed down a little bit on what I do and don't list. And I used to criticize the others that listed only the more major stuff. Bulldog gets this one. And it was like, well, if it's there, you should list it. You're not the one who determines whether or not somebody wants to collect it. They're the ones who determine whether they want to collect it. Same die again. Get that die clash there right in front of the one of the date. And while, yes, that is kind of true, there's also truth to the idea that if you're going to attribute coins to your die system for people, and especially if you're going to charge people to do it, you first want to be able to give them a coin that's worth the money that they're paying to get the examination done. And secondly, you don't want the examination to take 3 hours just because you've got way too much of everything listed and you are listing extremely minor stuff that very few people are ever going to care about. I know 1960D is your favorite, Mr. Harmon gets this one. You can still have favorites in a 1960D because we're still listing new dies today. I mean, we continue to list new stuff all the time. But it doesn't have to be so minor that nobody could possibly care about it. What is this? Well, that could be. Let me see how the ramp looks on it. The ramp is the, okay, see the edge of the D as it heads down to the field? There's still a split there. So that's not a hit. That goes all the way down to the field, and there's a split upper there too. It's minor, but that's a split double serif. I don't see anything else of any interest over here. But that is a minor split doubled serif mint mark. Yeah, super scrubbed. Looks like somebody took a Brillo pad to this die. We got scratches everywhere. Well, and they just about end right there. I have something itching my nose. We've got a concentric die gouge below the L of Liberty along the rim. That concentric die gouge runs on up under the N. You can see it right there toward the rim from the N of N. You can see it toward the rim from the W of we right there. And then you got this patch of real heavy die scratches. I think this will be the first time I run into this die. 31 coins into the roll. What do we have on the reverse? Well, the reverse doesn't show us much of anything that we haven't seen before. It's okay. Still a minor double split serif repunch and a mint mark. Why, I gotta learn how to talk. My mom always said I had a perfect face for radio. See you later, Dana. Next one belongs to Levels of Madness. Yeah, we're not finding hip-hop high-blown, excited stuff in this roll, but yeah. Maybe next time. You're going to have a dud once in a while. It's too bad that this happens to be a near dud. Let's call it a near dud. So we have some relatively decent stuff in this, but not like we were hoping. But of course, then again, lead back to what my mom said. You hope in one hand, poop in the other, and see which one fills up first. Mr. Dowdle. What do you have, Mr. Dowdle? It's all of a sudden the faucet's going to turn on this roll, and the last 10 coins in the roll are going to be a super RPM. That's what I'm looking for. We got a hairy eye. And let's see here. Got nothing on that side. Let's move on to the next coin. That's coin number 33 out of the way. Coin number 34 will belong to Levels of Madness. Coin number 34 is well, I'm seeing a normal coin for the obverse. Let's check the reverse and see what we've got. Nada. Sorry. Many of you will notice who bid on the auction last night and received an invoice. If you had a spot in the 1946 S roll, I've begun to give credit for those spots. Mr. Dowdle gets this. And I am still going to be giving the coins to you. That's just my way of saying somebody messed up and it wasn't me. Spots on this one. We've been getting some pretty nice coins out of this roll, and a few of them have spots here and there. This one belongs to Mr. Dowdle. Next coin, number 36, goes to Mr. Pettit. I think we've only run into one of his coins so far. What do we have here? That's one of the Clash coins. It doesn't have any diver right in it, it's just got Clash. We've checked out that thing so far and it's a scratch. Yeah, I've seen this die a few times. Check the reverse real quick. It's still got the same scratches. Not a new reverse, not a double die. See you later, bingo. It's like in something like this. Hey, hey, Paula. And I got a coin for Dana right after she leaves. We're not finding much of anything in this roll, Paula. This one's a double split serif. Minor, minor, minor. Minor, minor, pence on finer. Got nothing here. Nothing really. I flip it over, take a look at the other side. The 1961D roll reveal is on for tomorrow. It's already been scheduled in Facebook. It's already been scheduled in YouTube. We've seen this die before, haven't we? That nice old break on the left side. But there is no doubling. So Dana gets one of those nifty little die breaks. I can actually see it just looking at the coin, and I don't have all that great eyes. So it must be pretty cool looking. 38. Coin number 38. Now serving number 38. Jewish Redneck Preppers. How are you doing? Bulldog. Bulldog gets coin number 38. Let's see what it is. And we've got nothing going on here either. Ken is up for the Q&A tomorrow. It's on his channel. Is it Ken PV2 or KPV2? I can't remember. Here's coin number 38 for Bulldog. Sorry I didn't find anything for you. Seems to be a theme going on with this roll. Mr. Elliott. Mr. Elliott gets, well, it appears to be just another normal coin. And on this one, I just happened to look at it. You can still see that little triangle thing on the inside of the 9. And I'll zoom in on it for the sake of the people who are just joining us. Let me find it first, and then I'll zoom in on it. I gotta figure out exactly where to position a coin so that when I zoom, it's going to zoom to the right spot. You can barely see it there through the die scratches. Let me get this zoomed in right and focused. There we go. See inside the 9 right there, you have this little shape. Looks like a little triangle-ish looking thing. That's normal for 1956D. Those come up a lot. It's very frequent. Might as well look at the mint mark while we're down here. If I can find it. There it is. Let's flip it around, take a look at it the way that I would normally take a look at a mint mark with this lighting. There we go. Now this does have split serifs. I'm going to find a whole lot of stuff as I'm going back through. Yellow is a good color on me, in case I was wondering. Okay, thank you. This is yellow? I thought it was green. All right, let me zoom back out. Flip it over and look at the other side. His main channel is just Ken Peavy. Do you want to put a link in there for me? If you put a link in there, people will know where to go for the coin Q&A. It's coming up tomorrow evening at 8:30 Eastern Time. We'll have a panel of coin enthusiasts who are experienced in their field, also known as experts, answering questions for collectors on coins that they've found. I will be part of that panel tomorrow. If you have a coin that you would like to ask a question about, take nice clear pictures of both sides of the coin and any anomaly and ask a clear question through email at checkmycoin@yahoo.com. That's checkmycoin, all one word, at yahoo.com. Steve, I have pretty much gone to offering the spots and new rolls at the auction on Tuesday night, and I've done a pretty good job of filling all the spots just in the auction. At one point in time, I was listing them on my website and offering them the auction, and I was running into issues with double selling. So I don't want to oversell anything, so it just makes sense for me to offer all 50 spots at one time in one place. Mr. Pettit, coin number 41. This is one of the Clash coins. Got the Clash running into the 9 of the date there from the underside of the bow tie. So we're going to have a nothing on this. It's going to be a big fat zilch. Yeah. Lots of die scratches on that side. Got die scratches everywhere. And no doubling do I see. And we move on to the next coin. For those who join a little bit later, I tend to go a little faster as the last half of the roll comes around because we've already seen almost all of the different dies that we're probably going to catch out of this. So I run through it a little bit faster. I try to get these shows done in just about an hour. Bulldog is next. Well, that's an interesting little thing going on down there below the 1-9. This one's got a little scuff on it. I ran into some concentric die scratches there. You see a big old pattern of concentric die scratches running through Liberty. Concentric simply means that it's like you used a compass and traced it out from the center of the coin. For instance, the edges of the wheat on the reverse are concentric because if you trace a line going straight toward the other through the diameter of the coin, you'll end up in the center of the coin. That's what concentric means. Nothing on that side. We're on coin number 42, and this one goes to Bulldog. Coin number 43. I would think a couple of megabytes should be as large as you should use. We wouldn't need any more than that, I don't think. 2 or 3 megabytes should be plenty. Mr. Adams, although you probably could send us a 50 megabyte file and we could probably get it through email. Oh, looky here. This one's cute. I wonder if I've run into one of these and just didn't notice it. Because this one's nice. Bam! This one's got to be listed. See, let's look at this upper. Sorry about this. This upper serif up here. See the split on the upper serif? Yeah, sure, Chuck. We can see it if you know how to focus. Such a short field of view. You can see the split up there in the top. It's a pretty big one. And then here on the lower, that's a pretty big one too. In fact, this one actually has a separation going across the bottom of the mint mark. You see that right there? You actually have a separation line going across the bottom of the mint mark. This is a nice tilted repunch mint mark. All right, so we actually found something that's kind of exciting. A little exciting. Somebody jump up and down and do the Snoopy dance. I'm going to smile. There we go, I'm smiling. I like smiling. Smiling's my favorite. All right. Nothing else coming up on here. Let's see. Nothing else on that one. Well, Mr. Adams got himself a nice coin there. Nice condition. Decent RPM. We'll have to check that out and see what happens. Yeah, it was awkward, wasn't it? That's why I don't smile. Let's see what we got next. Mr. Dowdle. We'll see if we can pull out another one of those or something else nice. Oh, I think this is one of our bridge of the nose. Yeah, this is one of our bridge of the nose minor split serifs. You can see the little die scratch running parallel to the brow line in front of the eye. And this one's going to have a minor split upper and lower serif. I'm not sure it's going to be something I'm going to be able to list, but it's there nonetheless. We've seen this die before, which adds credence to the idea that this is an original roll. Oh boy, looky there. Bam! Mr. Dowdle just got himself a nice little lamination. You can see it running all the way across the coin right here. You can see it lifted just a little bit below the end, pointed straight at this guy. Nice little lamination. You can see it starting on the other side, on the other rim over there too. That's cute. Let's look at the rest and see if there's anything else. No. I'm going to zoom in on this just because. Well, because it's my show. And I can. Look at that. That's pretty. That's pretty. All right, Mr. Dowdle got a pretty coin out of this. The entire P of pluribus is missing, almost. So it says eluribus. So Mr. Dowdle, coin number 44, has a nice little reverse lamb. I can see that thing. Gosh, man, I can see that thing at arm's length. I can see it. You probably even be able to see it if I do this. Maybe. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. My cameras don't like to focus up close. They don't have a good macro lens. I should probably look into getting some better cameras now that I kind of know what I'm doing. I just got cheap web cameras. Levels of Madness gets the next one. What do you got? Let's see. Well, this one has minor split. It's one of the ones with the die scratch running through the lower part of the date. We've seen this die a number of times. I'll have to flip it over and see what's on the reverse. This is the one that's got that die wear. And I'm not seeing anything else right now. So that's coin number 45. Let's find out who gets coin number 46. Mr. Harmon. Mr. Harmon, now serving number 46. Now serving, Mr. 46. Calling Dr. Harmon to the main atrium. Yeah. Well, we've got a 56-day Lincoln sent here. All right. Who's going to get coin number 47? Mr. Adams. Good luck, Mr. Adams. See what you get. Not seeing anything there. Here's a cleft lip. Nothing there. Sometimes my filter goes away and I say stupid stuff. Okay, I say stupid stuff most of the time. Sometimes I have a filter. It's part of the thing with my condition. My voice just kind of carries. I've got the first email, Jeff. All right, Mr. Harmon gets the next one. This is coin number 48. Now serving number 48 to Mr. Harmon. Looks like we've got the Clash coin. This is one of the Clash coins. So it's not going to have any die variety on it because it's got that Clash. The Clash doesn't prevent the coin from having a die variety. Basically, in this roll, we've got one die that happens to have a Clash that doesn't have any die variety. See the same scratches that we've seen before. Oops, spot. I saw a spot. I can see the spot here too. Mr. Harmon gets that one, number 48. Coin number 49. I got 2 spots left. Coin number 49 will go to Bulldog. Who gets coin number 50? Oh, Mr. Bulldog got himself a coin with a spot or 2. Stacking rub, that's what's on top of the cheek there. That's if you get it tilted just right to the light, it'll be shiny as it gets. It's been basically polished by stacking. That happens when they roll the coins. It happens in bins. Hey, we got nothing there. Nothing there. Coin number 49. Who gets coin number 50? I'm going to take a wild guess. I'm going to say Mr. Paddock will get number 50. Let's see if that worked. Number 50. What are you doing, Raymond? Counting cards. Raymond's counting cards. Definitely counting cards. You can see that this one has some color. It's got a few spots because the one was facing the end of the roll. And nothing on that side. Womp, womp, womp. So there we go. Now Wapner's on at 4. There's Wapner at 4. 4 o'clock. All right, folks. Bag's empty. And we have 50 coins, all 50 spoken for. Got a few minor RPMs and a few other things going on. Some laminations, some interesting little die cracks. But unfortunately, we did not get a high volume roll of really nice RPMs or anything like that. Well, we are going to be doing this roll tomorrow. Tomorrow. Join me tomorrow where we open an FRB of NY. That's Federal Reserve Bank of New York roll. FRB of NY. even has a little cardboard thing on one end. And this is going to be tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. So catch me here, and I'll catch you too. Until then, I appreciate it, folks. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for supporting my channel. Make sure you give me a like, notify, comment, anything you want to do. As long as it's nice, family friendly. I appreciate it, folks. Peace.